Hey guys, this is Brevort, and today Mojang has released the 23w42a Snapshot of Minecraft. This snapshot introduces a new resource pack and data pack version, which is 21 for data packs and 19 for resource packs. But it also introduces the first experimental snapshot for 1.20.1, which includes the crafter. We'll get into the crafter in just a second, but first let's check out what's new in this 1.20.3 snapshot. First of all, there's a new game rule, which is projectiles can break blocks. So basically, this allows you to break pointed dripstone, chorus flowers, and decorated pots with projectiles. However, if we go ahead and set this to false, when I go ahead and hit them with projectiles, they won't break now. So it's kind of like a mob griefing type of thing, but with player projectiles instead. A really interesting bug that's been in the game for a while is if you went to this screen, which basically warns you that you're about to load a world in a snapshot, then when you click I know what I'm doing, that sound would be really loud. That's fixed now, so that doesn't actually happen. And that bug was actually reported by me, so it's really cool that it was fixed. Alright, now for the change we've all been waiting for, the crafter. So this is a really interesting new addition. This is an automatic crafting block that was introduced at Minecraft Live, but if we actually look at the crafter, it's really interesting because it can be placed on different orientations. So you could place it, this is technically facing up, even though it looks like it's facing this way, but the mouth of it is what determines the actual way it's facing. So you can see there's a little mouth here. So this one's facing north, this one's facing up, and we can even place them facing down, which in my opinion is the most useful, but also the most inconvenient to place. So you might think that these are really similar to crafting tables. However, they're actually more similar to droppers than anything else. So if I go ahead and place some oak blocks into here, it shows the planks here. You can shut off the slots by clicking on them. If I click here, obviously it just takes the block out. I can right click. It allows me to place them into other slots, but it will re-enable them if they've been disabled. So yeah, you can see it provides an output. However, you'd think you'd be able to just click this out just like a normal crafting table. However, it actually doesn't let you. Also doesn't drop the item on the ground when you do that. So very different from a regular crafting table. This will only output the output item when it's powered with redstone. And it'll shoot it out very similar to a dropper. It looks like it actually shoots it a little higher. Maybe not. In the direction that it's facing. So if we had it facing down, it would go downwards, etc., etc., etc. However, just like a dropper, if we put a container in front of it, it will place the item into the container, which is arguably way more useful than having it spit out onto the ground. In most cases, that's not what you'd really want to happen, right? There are special noises with the crafter, so if we go ahead and do this, there's a crafter failed sound, and if we place items in it, you can hear the successful crafter noise. So very interesting. And of course, we can also put items into the crafter with hoppers. So if we go ahead and do that, we can get some really interesting results. So I was doing some testing with the order that hoppers place items in. And the way it seems it works is it goes north, then west, then south, then east, then the one that's above it downwards. So that's the order that the items go into the from the hopper in my testing. So you can also use that to arrange which order you want the items to go into the crafter. So over here, I was kind of exploiting that I figured that order out. No, that's wrong actually. Why is that wrong? Is it different for some reason here? I'd like to know why that's the case. Okay, so if we go ahead and do that, it'll put the items into here. Now what we can do is we can do a lectern, and we have a book in here that's got 15 pages, and we have it set to 9. So let's go ahead and put that here. So this actually is, you're always going to want this to be set to 9. So that way, the reason for that is because when you, even if I take the items out of here, if I go ahead and disable some slots, it'll start outputting a signal. Each slot that either is filled or disabled will output 1, and it'll total up to 9 when it's completely full. So you'll always want that, the lectern set to 9 no matter what you're crafting. So if we go ahead and power this now, this is designed to craft a bow. So if we go ahead and do that, it'll put the items in. Actually, we need to leave it going. So here's another interesting thing I found. If we put in a stack of items, this is just completely normal crafter here. It'll start putting them in, instead of filling up the first slot first, it'll fill up in order, like one in each slot, till it gets to the end, then it'll start putting them in the next slot. So that's really useful because that means we can like automatically craft things like this bow here. So if we go ahead and let me take these items out of here. If I go ahead and turn this on, it'll start crafting bows. So you'll see it goes in, and because of this little contraption I set up here, it'll start filling this up with bows. So really interesting. So what happens when it actually fills up the entire container? I'm actually not sure what's going to happen. I think we're going to run out of items before that, though. Maybe? No, I think we definitely will. Yep, we ran out. Okay, so let's put more sticks and string in. Yeah, it kind of broke, so just because of the way this is set up. But yeah, let's find out what happens if we power this while it's full. I'm guessing it's gonna spit out on the floor. No, it just doesn't craft, eh? Oh, it's already powered. Let's see. Yep, so it starts spitting them out like a dropper would. So the other thing that I found interesting was that if you place items into a crafter with a hopper underneath, then the hopper is enabled, which most of the time it will be, it'll start pulling the items out of the crafter. So that's kind of interesting, which I found kind of inconvenient at first, but the use of that is because this behaves more as a dropper. So it would be like putting items into a dropper and then trying to pull them out through a hopper. Doesn't really make sense. Also, I wouldn't have found this out myself, but I saw it on the changelog. The crafter will prioritize, if each slot is full, it'll prioritize the slot that is the least full. So if we go ahead and put one in here, it goes into this slot since this slot only had one. But if we go ahead and switch it to here, it'll go into the middle slot again. So there you go. You can see it goes into the slot that's the least filled. Anyways, guys, that is about it for this snapshot. It does just have the crafter out of the announced 1.20.1 features. If you're excited about this, let me know. I know I am. I'm really excited about not having to craft dispensers every single time, but this might actually be arguably more work, but it'll definitely be a lot more fun to set up a little contraption to craft something like dispensers. Other than that, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Calcium Capus Modem Tardum, and goodbye.